On Backstage today, it is all about the study of human nature. A local dance troupe explores our very short attention span. A young local filmmaker has a film about making us feel at ease with being nervous. And in the loft sessions, I'll sit down with rock legend George Belanger from Harlequin. We'll chat about his music, life, and why he has now become an advocate for mental health awareness. But first, it's the one, the only David Foster. He was in town with more on a very special gala event that is coming this fall.
Oh, this is
one of Winnipeg's most wonderful citizens right here, John Bueller. Right here, very philanthropic. I've hung with him in Italy. He's him and his wife Bonnie are two of the most amazing people you'll ever meet.
So just another one of David Foster's friends. And let me tell you folks, we are going to have one incredible party. First of all, David, thank you so much for bringing the David Foster Foundation Gala here. And let's get right to it. 29 years or more of doing this. How did organ transplants, how did you even get into all of this?
Well, like Michael said at the press conference, my mother gave me a call and you got to do what your mom says. And she wanted me to visit a child who was needing a transplant, who was away from home. And I visited, I saw, I felt, I touched. She wanted to see her sister. I made that happen, which was easy for me, and it got me started. And you never know what's going to kickstart you into a direction, right? You just never know. And I just got crazy with it, and I want to. It's my passion. It's my legacy. I think. I hope.
I think the biggest thing for me getting involved was the fact that I'd seen kids out and families torn apart because of this. And for my wife and I, we thought, you know, we got to help to do the message that they want to hear about where they can go and what they can do. And David was that conduit.
Early morning, like 5 o'clock, my wife told me that I think something's going wrong with the baby.
Particular job with this foundation gets harder. Because the older I get, the more I want to do for it. You know, at 32 or however old I was just like, hey, this is, you know, I'm touched, let's get going here. But you don't really realize what you're in for. And it's a lifelong commitment. You can't just scratch the surface on this. It's a big job for me. I welcome it though, I'm not complaining. I think I'm fortunate, and as John and Bonnie know, if you're in any kind of position at all to give back or to help, it's your responsibility. You shouldn't be rewarded for it. It's just what you need to do. And thank God, the world is messed up enough as it is. Thank God there are people like John and Bonnie and thousands of others like them that really do give back. We'd be in even worse shape without that, you know? So it's a privilege.
It's mean to me a lot. Because Nazdana, we go through a very hard time. Nazdana was fighting with a life-threatening disease. And that hard time now almost over. It is now she's 3.5 years old baby and a toddler, and she is now healthy. We are so happy for that. And during that tough time, the doctors, the nurses, the social workers, the community, they help us a lot. And of course, the David Foster Foundation as well. So that's why now it's the time we can contribute to the community. So that's why we came, and we want to support David Foster Foundations and everybody knows the community which is there help us. So this day is really mean to me a lot.
Well, I think the biggest thing is the awareness out there. When we have these concerts and everybody comes to the concert and you got 2,000 and 3,000 people in that concert, that's awareness. That gets it out because the people in that room and the people that are doing the donations and all the things that are happening at that time, that goes out to the public. The public says, wow, I'd like to get involved. And that's where we found it when we were in Calgary, Vancouver, Toronto, you know, now Winnipeg. And this is my home province, and we got talking, and somebody says, well, Jim, you know, Winnipeg's small compared to the rest of the countries. I said, but they're some of the biggest donators in the country are right in this city. And to me, coming home back to Winnipeg and saying, I found out with David in the car that there's only 2% in this province. The donation was so low. So if we can double it, triple it, quadruple it, that's what we're looking for.
Our goal, we're trying to raise enough money. We're trying to raise $50 million as an endowment that will carry on after I can no longer get on the stage and be like, oh, I can't make it today, this guy, you know. But hopefully the foundation will live on, and then hopefully after that there'll be a day when it's not needed. Because if we could get to that 100% donation rate, organ donor rate, the problem would be solved. The Grammys come and go, and I'm not going to lie either, it was exciting. But this is ongoing exciting. It's an everyday challenge, and my music is not an everyday challenge, but this is, because it's my name. It's my name, so I can't be a bystander. I have to be a full-time participant. Otherwise, it's just not right.
Well, we have Winnipeg's legendary rock star here, George Belanger, and you know what? Harlequin, the guys, good old rock and roll. Where did it all go? Or is it still going on?
Oh, it's still going, yeah. She had nowhere to look.
Oh, all right. So I want to know a little bit more about your past. You know, how did you even get into the music, and what was it that hooked you?
Well, my father was a singer of sorts. He would be, you could hear him all over the house. He'd be always singing, and he used to love the black artists at the time, Ray Charles and the Mills Brothers and stuff like that. He'd be always singing away. And I come from a large family. He had 10 kids, so he wasn't home a lot. But when he did come home, he made his presence known by either singing or whistling, or discipline.
Okay, yes.
And he had a great tone, and I don't know if it's just through osmosis, but I learned how to sing just listening to him. And then, of course, being a French Catholic, I went to religious school. I went to minor seminary in that, and so I also was a choir boy and an altar boy. So I got some sort of training there musically. And then when I was about 15 and questioning my calling, because I was starting to mature and other things were budding in my brain, someone came knocking at the door one evening. It was a cousin of mine that I'd never met before, who was the manager of a rock band from Kenora. And they were called a very anti-Catholic name. They were called Satan and the D-Men, if you can believe that.
Yeah.
He didn't say that to my parents, but he came knocking at the door asking for directions to a community club, because he wanted to go see a band and wanted to steal the singer from the band for his band. And my father kind of said, well, look no further. My son's a singer, and I had just bought a guitar. I had it for 3 weeks. I knew 3 chords. And he said, he can probably do the job for you. Well,
Wow.
He said, well, does he know where the community club is? So I jumped in the car with him, went to the community club, and the band was actually the Shondells. People of my era would know the Shondells very well. They were a very popular band at the time. And the singer was called Mike Hamford. He played the B3, and they did R&B music, and this guy was like a fabulous singer.
Wow.
So we watched him play, and then after the show, we went to see him, and the guy, Mike basically told my cousin, I haven't got time for you. So on the way home, he turned the radio on and said, can you sing that one? So I started singing along. He says, well, hey, do you want to be in a band?
Just like that.
Yeah.
Sounds like a movie.
Yeah, and then we started,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then now getting to the days of Harlequin, and I mean playing in that band, and the parties, the socials, and the whole music scene was really a buzz here, I think, at that time in the city.
Well, Winnipeg, I heard a thing the other day. They were talking about Calgary, and they're trying to make it the music capital. Like they're trying to copy San Antonio. Mm-hmm. San Antonio, Texas, which has so many live venues of all sorts of music, which is a fabulous place. If you ever get a chance to go to San Antonio. Great place. But Winnipeg was, a virtual, you had everything here. I mean, there was discotheques, there was nightclubs, there was, you know, community clubs, school dances. I mean, you were working 7 nights a week, you know, if you wanted to. And we got a reputation for, you know, having great musicians come out of here. I think part of that too is that, you know, the long winters and, you know, being holed up in the basement with your buddies.
Yeah,
you know?
nothing else to do.
Right.
But there must be so many, I know, memorable moments, but, you know, just briefly, George, you know, what kind of sticks in your mind when I say Harlequin?
Well, you know, we managed to, you know, start here and travel, you know, far, and, you know, played some great places all over the place, and it was quite an adventure, you know, to do this with, you know, the same guys, which we're kind of proud of for a long time.
Right.
And yeah, it was a heck of a ride, you know, and it still is fun, you know. I still do it. And
You're still
enjoy
doing
it.
it. The band still has gigs.
Yeah.
You said a lot out of town, though, not.
Yeah,
as
well, we
many
do,
here.
you know, fairs and, you know, festivals and casinos now.
Yes,
Thank God
huge.
for casinos.
Well, we're seeing a lot of resurgence for bands like that, you know, the casinos.
Well, yeah, because the clubs now, a lot of them, the big clubs are DJs, and live music, you know, is kind of, I think it's making a resurgence, though.
I do.
People, you know, you gotta love, you know, art that's involved in putting something together,
Most
rather than
definitely.
just somebody spinning a record. And
I know. I mean,
know.
nothing beats a live show. You're a bit of an advocate now for mental illness, and I guess, how did that happen, and how has it affected you, and now kind of being a spokesperson?
Well, you know, as I've gotten older, I realize that a lot of people struggle with it. No one is immune, and I come from a very large family, and I thank God for that every day, because it was very grounding for me. And but still, everyone struggles with their demons, and I like to when I get to know people, I like to get to know them, and if you dig a little bit, you'll find out that usually someone knows somebody or has somebody with a mental illness, be it depression or anxiety or, you know, whatever. It's never very far, and it kind of astounded me. And just a short time ago, I had lost a friend, and was speaking at his funeral. And everyone that came up and spoke, no one mentioned anything about how it came to this point where, you know, he passed away. And as everybody knew, nobody knew actually that he had anxiety, and that he self-medicated and ended up killing himself through you know, by self-medicating or whatever. And during the whole ceremony, everybody was avoiding the topic, and I spontaneously started talking about it, and it moved a lot of people, I think, and you know, because everyone needs help, everybody needs someone to talk to, and you know, a lot of people are hiding, you know, the reality of mental illness, and there's nothing to be ashamed of. No. It doesn't mean you're inferior or, you know, less capable or not smart or whatever. It just means that, you know, you've been affected in some way, and there are ways out of it. And the first way out is to actually talk about it, because no one will know to help you if you don't speak about it.
Exactly.
So that's what I'd like to get across to people, is that, you know, if you're depressed, you know, or you have anxiety, let people know. And you know, you can probably better cope with it.
Well, I mean, you're right, it touches everybody now, and I think music can help a lot too.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, you know, hopefully you can create something, a movement through music, through the dialogue, and let's talk, you know, and I think that only creates a healthier environment.
Right. Well, music is a vehicle, for me, always has been. It takes you away from your troubles. You know, it puts you into another zone, and it's kind of an automatic thing. You go wherever the music takes you. Takes you away from all that crap, shall we say. Yeah.
Well, George, we thank you so much, and we hope that Harlequin rolls on. Where can we find out more about the band?
Well, I do have a website. It's harlequintheband.com. And if you go on there, right now I have a posting about the Mood Disorders Association. They're having a gala April 23rd, Saturday. All the information is there for you. Come and support it.
Oh, well, you know what? It's always amazing and it's always wonderful to have Winnipeggers here that have made it and stay here. We love it. Thank you so much.
Well, I love it here. Thanks.
Coming up, we meet our youngest filmmaker yet. And later, it's a very futuristic look at dance.